Well, a very pleasant, good Tuesday morning, and welcome to the Leeds Soccer Fields in Ames. We're on the campus of Iowa State University as the 2025 Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union State Soccer Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau officially kicks off in just a few minutes. It's a Class 1A state quarterfinal that we have on tap for you. As the number one overall seed in this bracket, the Denver Cyclones takes on a bit of an underdog in the Underwood Eagles, the number 8 seed out of the Western Iowa Conference. Well, once again, good morning, everyone. Daniel Versteg, happy to be joined by John Schaefer for this contest. And Denver, the defending state runners-up, certainly some unfinished business as they return to the state tournament. Meanwhile, Underwood had to go on the road for all 3 of their regional tournament games. You know they're playing with the chip on their shoulder.
Absolutely, and they showed that in each game of their regional. They won by no less than, obviously, they got the 1-goal win over Trainer, which was a huge one, but then to knock Tri-Center off with a 4-0 showing really makes a statement as they come into Leeds Sports Center here and on the campus of Iowa State. Nice change of venue as well. I kind of enjoy it, moving from the confines of county. Yeah,
we've got 2 fields that'll be going, which means you'll be able to catch more of the games actually during the day. Obviously, the 4 fields at county meant your attention was somewhat divided at times, but now we got 2 fields. And let's tell you about the road to state here. Denver, you can see the impressive record. They're 19-0-1. Officially, that one tie was against Nevada in a tournament, but I was just talking with Coach Derek Krebsbach, and they said they did beat them on penalty kicks because they were able to do that for the tournament. But officially it had to go down as a tie. As you can see, they defeated Dubuque Waller Catholic. That was probably their most competitive game outside of the Nevada contest, a 3-2 win in overtime. And, man, you can't talk about this team without talking about their stellar offense. Over 5.5 goals per game, led by Alyssa Harberts and Kira Gerke. Meanwhile, Underwood, 12-2-2 on the year. As John mentioned, defeated Tri-Center in the region championship. So many great weapons in the likes of Tyler Hull, Lola Paulson, and then an outstanding goalkeeper in Avery Honan. These 2 teams really, I think, match up well with each other.
Absolutely. Avery Honan with 8 goals allowed on 77 saves. Obviously, she's played a bulk of the minutes, getting some freshman time support there. But, I think today's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, field conditions will play a factor. We'll see if Denver can utilize some of their speed and really get their attack going. They have a handful of players with more than 100 shots this season. Tells you they really have some firepower there, whereas I think Underwood really kind of goes through Tyler Hull and what she does.
Yeah, if that game plan for Denver does not have number 10 circled, bolded, and underlined, it's not a good game plan. But we know Coach Krebsbach will have them ready to go. Denver and Underwood getting the state tournament started. We'll be back with our pregame festivities in just a moment on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. That old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, you come here, you'll believe. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
SWIC is a community. Southwestern Community College is a place in rural southwest Iowa where students from across the world come to be a part of a tight-knit family, Spartan Nation, where they study, train, grow, thrive, and are called by name, not by number. At SWIC, we are one.
Different people have different needs, so Delta Dental of Iowa has affordable dental and vision coverage that meets you where you are. Small business on a budget? We have options with no employer costs. Traditional Medicare plans don't cover dental, but we do. And if you can't get benefits at work, you can buy direct from us. Plus, we give back to local communities, so you help make an impact. Choose Delta Dental for your smile, for your health, for your community.
we are back and just about ready for kickoff in this one, as it is a Class 1A state quarterfinal. Number 1 seed Denver, number 8 seed Underwood. Our pre-match festivities with the starting lineups, national anthem, have all concluded. First of what will be many matches today on this field in particular. 6 on this field, 6 on the other field as we play through the quarterfinal round today. Semifinal rounds will be on Thursday. There you see the Denver Cyclones greeting the officials for this contest. They'll be in the maroon jerseys, the maroon kits with the kind of gold trimming on it. Meanwhile, Underwood will be in the white kits, white jerseys, blue numbers, black trim. There's the Denver Cyclones again, 19-0-1, an outstanding season for them, and looking for some revenge after coming up just a bit short as the state runner-up. Underwood, meanwhile, the 8th seed. Nobody expected them to be here, even after 2 appearances in the last 3 seasons prior to this one. They've made a nice run and have certainly earned a good spot here at the state tournament.
Coach Tyler Nelson, running by the bench for a quick meeting with the officials there, said, "I did," as he heard that little note. Certainly Underwood had it in their plans to be here at the start of the season, and they find themselves now in a position to maybe shock a little bit of the rest of 1A. Is a good matchup here ahead of us.
Yep, quick pre-match meeting between the coaches there at midfield, and we'll be ready to go. Underwood's going to have the possession to kick this one off and get things underway at the Class 1A state tournament. We hope you are going to enjoy our entire day's worth of coverage in this Class 1A state quarterfinal. The winner will play either Des Moines Christian or Hudson coming up Thursday in the semifinal round. Underwood will get the first possession. Again, they are coming from left to right as we view it from our sideline position. Denver with a quick takeaway. And the Cyclones try and back it up, but we kind of talked about it before the broadcast started. Field conditions, wet ball, wet cleats, all that kind of stuff. Footing's going to be an issue today, and certainly how you judge a pass coming into you.
Absolutely, and I think, you look at most teams in the state are playing on artificial turf throughout the season. Now they're on natural grass. It's wet. Ball's going to skip. Their feet are going to have to be a little bit more centered underneath them instead of getting out wide. So I think it'll definitely be a feeling out process here in the first 5-10 minutes to really understand how it's going to affect the game.
Denver's going to have the throw over there. That's Mackenzie McEwen trying to play it into the box, and Underwood gets a nice head on it to get a little bit more breathing room defensively. It's played back in down the left side of the box. That was Rosecrans, and Underwood sends it back out.
Yeah, right now Denver just kind of hemming in Underwood at this point down in the near corner here for us and trying to create something into the box.
The kind of the first 10-15 minutes of a match like this, state tournament, region final, you're kind of feeling each other out, kind of seeing, hey, what might work later on. Obviously, if you can score in the first 2 or 3 minutes or so, that'd be wonderful, and I think both teams have done that at times this year, but it's certainly not the expectation at this point in the year.
Well, and 2 teams on separate halves of the state, so
Right.
Underwood, furthest they drift east is Des Moines, and then Denver, furthest they really drift west, I'd say, is probably Nevada, to be honest. So.
Yeah, that last tournament, they played Pella and Nevada. The Cyclones are awarded a free kick here, so they'll get this one set up, let their back line try and play it in deep. This will be their senior and an all-stater last year, Miranda Thurm. Really good anchor in that back line for the Cyclones. She plays it into the box. They get a foot on it. It's a kind of jump ball in there, deflected out by Honan, and Underwood will get a little bit of a clear. They're going to have to play it a little deeper, and they do.
Great chance there from Kira Gerke, but really nice job defending by Underwood to get that ball just cleared out of the box after the initial header.
Boy, what an aggressive play in net by Avery Honan. She was way out there. If there was a second Cyclone kind of on the backside of that play, it's 1-0.
Absolutely, but again, aggressive off the line. You love to see that from a keeper. Now Underwood trying to counter with their star.
Well, here's Tyler Hull. Yeah, she's going to make some plays for the Eagles here this year. Plays it back, gets a strike, and it gets deflected out by the Cyclones.
Strong backline play by Denver leads to another counter opportunity back the other way.
Yep, here they come on the run. This is going to be a kind of a quick moving contest, I think, once these 2 teams kind of get their legs underneath them and feel a little bit more comfortable with what they can and can't get away with in these wet conditions. And we are going to get a stoppage here for just a moment as a Denver player.
I think that's actually going to be Kira Gerke, who had that header. She's looking for a quick nose plug because she took a shot. I think maybe a hand came up on the attempted punch out
So
by Honan.
Alexis Milder is going to check in, the junior forward. And she will try to be the replacement that the Cyclones need for that defensive back.
37. Hey, TC, let him know when I'm blowing my whistle a couple times. He's going like this.
And they are going to need to reset the clock here, it looks like, a little bit. As we kind of had the first stoppage. Yeah, I think the clock was running that entire time, and it was not supposed to. So they got everything reset.
Everybody in position for a red throw.
And we are still having a bit of an officiating issue here with the clock and trying to get that reset.
Clock sounds like it's still running, so they're just getting things reset. The clock for us is really not visible from our perspective. All the fans can see it.
Right.
We just don't have an eye on it.
I guess that's the most important thing. The fans need to know how much time is left. And, of course, we've got the asset of our clock on the top left of your screen. You can follow along in that regard, obviously. Underwood gets a through ball downfield, but Denver is able to send that one right back where it came from. Come the Eagles on the run there is Stangl. She plays it up the touch line here, and this one goes out. It'll be a Denver throw.
That's one thing to keep an eye on, too. Stangl trying to really look for that ball down the line and looking for the grass to grip it, but because it's wet, things are going to start skipping a little bit.
Yeah, that was something we talked about is how the ball bounces on a wet grass field is so different. It is kind of more like you talked about. Most teams play on turf most of the year, and it kind of mimics that at this point.
Yes.
Underwood gets the takeaway down, and they'll send it through where Denver's going to be able to reset.
And I think that's the point where you start taking some shots maybe from a little further out just to see if keepers are on their toes and ready for a little bit different play than they're maybe used to.
A little physical down there on the far side of the field. It's Remy Paulson, and now Tyler Hull's got the touch. And she has it played away. A nice job there. I believe that was Thurm on the deflection. And now here come the Eagles trying to get a through ball. Nobody was on the run on the pass by Mallory Leaders, and so this one's sent back.
It's a good look, though. She just needed some help there and some support. Just didn't have anyone, as you mentioned, making that run through the line. Otherwise, it's a great A opportunity for Underwood. Now Underwood's kind of finding their pace.
This one's taken up there by Bettis, and Denver's able to clear it toward the far side. Underwood got another touch on it. Now here come the Cyclones on the counter. Yeah, good 1-2 game there. Trying to get to the outside, and Underwood had that bead run out well. Kind of a no-man's spot there, and Underwood is able to keep the possession even after the Denver touch. This one's played down, and Denver's going to be able to track it down. And they'll play it up the sideline. A good first touch from Milder. Coming our way toward our camera position, and the Eagles keep it on the sideline. Denver's going to get the run out from Addison Shepard. And really tough for either side to get kind of comfortable with a possession at this point. It's changing hands too much, and you wonder if that's because some of the conditions and the ability to not control your touches as well.
Yep, and it definitely has a little bit to do. Grass is a little thick out here. Not saying it's a bad thing. I think it's a great field right now, great field conditions. And that was an illegal throw-in, so that's going to be a change of possession as well. She didn't come directly over the top on that throw. So, but yeah, the ball is biting a little bit on the second or third bounce versus what you typically see in a rollout with the turf.
Denver gets the touch on it, and they're going to try and flip the field a little bit. And a good job boxing out Milder there by Leaders, and Underwood is going to keep the possession off of it. What a good step there by Stangl.
Stangel's really impressed me off that midfield line.
Plays it up toward the box, and that one's cleared out of there. That's Rosecrans, part of that veteran defensive back line that Denver has. The Cyclones only allowing 7 goals all season.
Running 4 on their back line, and they have been tough to crack.
Underwood all the way out wide. And that's Delaney Clausen. Taken away, though, by McEwen. And this will go out, and it will be Denver on the throw. No, Underwood, is going to get the throw.
Chance here for Underwood. In close to the 18 here. See if they can get a good throw in and then get it to their feet of their star.
Keeping it on the sideline. They haven't really been able, neither team's really been able to get this ball toward the middle of the field. And that has been a bit of an issue for these two teams. We're playing a lot on the boundaries, but obviously once you get in the middle, that's where the scoring chances end up being created. Really, the only one we had was that free kick that Denver had earlier.
So we get a nice substitution there as well. It looks like Regan Seelock is coming in.
That substitution, and every substitution throughout the contest, is brought to you by IMT Insurance. Or now you can be worry-free with IMT at IMTINS.com. Boy, Denver making a quick change of possession. This is Addison Shepard, the freshman, and it's played out. This will be a corner kick.
Lizzie Thompson doing a nice job to track down Shepard on that one. And this will be our first corner of the day.
Our corner kicks throughout this match and throughout the state tournament are sponsored by Channel Seeds. The enhanced Channel Seed brand is here to help farmers like you up your game and rise to the challenge. Learn more at channel.com. Again, it'll be Denver, and we are going to get another substitution, and it is Bailey Mullahan checking back into the contest as she returns following that nosebleed that she had earlier, and she checks in for Alexis Milder. So the corner kick upcoming here for Denver.
Looks like Kira Gerke delivering.
Gerke sends it in. Honan gets a hand on it, and she pushes her own defender out of the way so she could scoop it up and send it deep.
A good job by Honan coming off of her line there and saying, it's mine. You need a keeper that's vocal and confident. It's when they start to question their first move that they really find themselves in trouble.
Denver gets the send back up the sideline, and they're looking to counter right away. They've got some good, strong legs that can really flip the field on that defensive side of things. And Underwood, they'll try and counter this one. They chip it over the top, and Denver's going to get a throw in their attacking half.
Well, Denver's had the scoring chances so far to speak of. The big one, obviously, when Honan came off her line, made a punch out, and then clearance. Other than that, we really haven't seen many scoring opportunities.
Denver trying to create one. They do get a pass into the middle. It does find feet. Cross goes wide to the far post, and this will end up being a goal kick. That was off of the foot of Shepard. Had a look at it, and maybe had a chance to find Gerke on the backside of the play, but Underwood will clear it out.
Another good opportunity. Just nice move around the defender and really getting that strong shot off. Tried to bend it inside that back post. It's a little strong.
See if Underwood is able to get a chance to switch it into their favor, and the aggressive play there of Remy Paulson, and she sends that one deep. Going to make Tyler Hull chase after it, but Denver is there. Rosecrans able to play that one back.
Underwood's structure right now really doesn't allow for those quick breakers. I think they're going to need another player up at least to help Hull out in the striker position.
Fortunate deflection for Denver, and the Eagles have to play it all the way back to their keeper. Honan plays it in deep, and a good step there from McEwen. This will end up going out of bounds. And Denver is the number 1 seed. Their only non-win, a draw, came against the team they lost the championship to last year in Nevada. And got some revenge with them in the form of a PK shootout as part of that tournament at Nevada, in which they also beat Pella. Pella's a team that has been at state a number of years. They're here again in 2A and beat them 3-0, and then just kind of steamrolled all the way up to the region final, where they had to go to some extra time to beat Waller Catholic 3-2.
Tells you the quality of 1A soccer. I'd say you could put some of these 1A teams up against even some top-end 3A, and you get some really competitive games. Not something you always see across the classes in other sports.
Yeah, there certainly is a disparity when it comes to maybe, say, basketball or volleyball or what have you. But, yeah, I think you put Denver in 2A or 3A, and they're a force to be reckoned with. That's how dominant this team has been. Oh, and this is a misplay. Underwood's going to have to clear that out toward the sideline, and they do. And this will be a corner throw-in, if you will, for the Cyclones.
I just want to be really clear. You just a Northwest guy just said volleyball might have a disparity when you are around Western Christian.
This is true. This is true. Yeah, we all know the what the Wolfpack are capable of in some of the smaller classes too, and we've seen them compete with some higher class teams a number of times.
Just wanted to make that point really quickly on the broadcast.
Good point. I did leave my Northwest roots there for a moment. Denver has a couple opportunities here, but Underwood's able to play it out. And can they get things flipped around? Now Denver retreats so well, and they're able to set their defensive lineup in an instant.
Yeah, and I think the one thing right now Underwood's trying to figure out is where they really need to play those balls. They want it over the top, but they're playing a lot towards the middle, and I think Coach is trying to push them outside a little bit more to work around defenders.
Cyclones get that run up the sideline once again, and it's cleared out of there. Underwood's defensive line, got to give them some credit as well. They've made some nice plays as here comes Remy Paulson. She's trying to chip it over the top again, as you mentioned, toward the middle, and Tyler Hull is unable to flag it down. Tough part about it, the Eagles may be able to get away with that most of the season, but here you're going to have to be a lot more deliberate with who you play the ball to and when and where, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, I think the longer this game kind of sticks around this pace, I think it does play itself to Underwood if they can survive, the little bit of onslaught we've seen from the Cyclones.
I wanted to mention, obviously, we kind of talked about it early on, Underwood being the number 8 seed. And, a lot of people, obviously not wearing the Underwood blue, thought, hey, maybe they're going to be down this year. They're not going to be able to be successful, especially considering they started 2-2-2. But since then have won 10 straight. Obviously, their great run in the region tournament and the success they've had with a group of kids. They have 15 on their roster. There's only 4, maybe 3 available girls sitting on the bench here for Underwood. They're the 7th smallest school to offer soccer in the state of Iowa, and just look at what the success they've had with Coach Tyler Nelson. 3rd state tournament appearance in 4 years. It's really commendable.
Absolutely, and you mentioned it, 3 substitutes. That's all they have. That's all that came off the line after introductions. But when you have a team that believes in what they're doing, and then I think some early season reminders in those losses was we aren't the team of last year. We've got to find our identity. They found that now, and it's paying off for them as we've seen their run up to state.
Underwood trying to get that play across into their attacking half, and the Eagles have kind of a tough go of it. And now Remy Paulson is able to find the feet of Tyler Hull. Let's watch her do some work outside the box. Hull plays it middle, goes far post, and just misses wide. Gave McKenna Broadhead an opportunity to make a play, but that shot misses wide. Now Denver will make a multitude of changes with some IMT insurance substitutions.
I think that's a great shot from Hull there. Again, you need to feel the ball on your foot a little bit. You need to release it, get some shots on net just to create some confidence. She does a really nice job creating space as well from that defender with a nice little tap back to her right to release that, and that's something the defender's got to note. She's a righty, so don't give her that space.
And like you've been keeping track, that's just the first shot that Underwood's even gotten that they've been able to really release. So yeah, they got to get some chances. We're already 15 minutes into this first half of action. The Eagles have to play that one out, and Denver's looking like they might be building a little something with some fresh legs out there. That is the benefit, obviously, as we talked about with the 3 substitutions that Underwood has. Denver can bring in some fresh legs and have a totally different team with some substitutions. This one's played to the box, off the hands of Honan, but she's able to hang on to snuff out the attack.
And there you see her kind of wiping her gloves off on her shirt, too. When those gloves get wet, they get slippery. It's a foam typically, and you want them dry, and so the more wet they get, it becomes a little bit more, keep your body in front of the ball as well. She does a nice job coming off her line confidently, playing the short hop and taking care of it.
Very veteran. She was the starting goalkeeper on Underwood's last state tournament team 2 years ago as a sophomore, no less. So she's been the kind of mainstay in net that the Eagles need for the last 3 years, and they've obviously ridden her well. 91% save percentage coming into the state tournament. Here come the Eagles on the counter. It is to the middle, and Stengel out of that midfield line. She's been such a nice presence, plays it through, and could not quite track down Hull, so Broadhead comes out to play this one.
Well, and I think the scouting report is out from the Cyclones on Hull, and they've kind of kept two defenders around her in the middle and really making space difficult for her to find on those through plays.
Correction, that is Adiana Murch in net for Denver. My apologies there. And now the Cyclones play it out, and this will be an Underwood throw. So the Eagles will get another change in here as Delaney Clausen is able to check in for the Eagles, and she'll replace Reagan Seelock. Throw-in does find an Eagle with a touch. They're going to try and keep it deep, but Denver is able to clear that into their own bench.
The rain has subsided again. I think it's just going to be one of those days where it's off and on, and you don't mind it as, a player. I think it keeps you cool. You take this over an 85 in pure sun when you haven't played in that all year.
Yeah, that's always the tricky part about the spring seasons is you play in cold weather. Obviously in Iowa, we're used to that, but then, you have your state meets and tournaments in May and June, and you got to adapt quickly to play some of your best competition in these sports. Here comes the play to the middle again. Underwood's just not able to get any opportunities in the middle of the pitch. Trying to create one there. Denver's able to clear it out. Can't fully get it out of there. This one's sent in by Lola Paulson, and it just clears the crossbar, and Denver dodges a bullet there.
That was a rifle from well outside the box, but I like the shot again. Sometimes you see that where a keeper can't quite get that crossbar reach, and so maybe trying to sneak one in there or just give yourself an opportunity, and Underwood nearly finds one there on their second shot of the day.
So we're just about midway through the first half of play. And now both teams have gotten some scoring chances. Tyler Hull whiffs through a double team. You know she's going to get the attention. She knows it. Everybody else knows it. It's just how she responds to all the pressure that comes from being the leading scorer on a team like this.
Also opens the door for someone else on Underwood to be a bit of a hero today. Obviously, if all the attention's on Hull, who's that number 2 that's going to be making a run and maybe sneak through unaccounted for?
Basically, the first one that would come to mind would be named Paulson, whichever Paulson decides to step up to the plate today. But both of them have been nice number 2 options to Tyler Hull at times throughout the year. And obviously, we just saw that last shot from Lola Paulson just miss over the crossbar. So she's proven to be a threat already and deserves some respect of her own. And before a Denver throw, they'll get their captain back in, Kira Gerke, a bit of a breather there midway through this first half, and now returns to the pitch for her other captain, Alyssa Harberts.
It's been fun to see this game kind of unfold. I'd say first 10 minutes really leaned Denver's half of the field offensively. They were creating opportunities. Underwood's found a bit of a rhythm and an answer. Now here comes Denver again on another opportunity.
Yeah, maybe flipping the momentum again, trying to create something there is Shepard. Just outside the box, and Underwood is all over her. This one goes toward the far side. Denver does keep it in. Nice touch there from Hazel Colesrud. And now she's stuck in the corner and is able to get past one defender. Not much really developing over there. They're just playing a lot of back and forth. Now this one finds the foot of Shepard again, a crosser, and Honan gets a couple of hands on it to stop that threat.
Denver maybe looking for a runner near post there, but again, Honan has been really sharp between the pipes today.
Snuffing out Addison Shepard on that attempt, who had the golden goal in their overtime win over Waller Catholic last week in the region final. Had that one 3 minutes into overtime. Really quick opportunity. We're going to get a handball here for Underwood, and the Denver Cyclones will get a shot just about 25 yards out from the goal line.
A little bit of a brain fart moment there, and sometimes that happens, right? You just instinctually throw a hand up and want to try and make a play to bat something down out of the air, and instead Denver's going to try and capitalize.
This is Kenzie Snyder. The wall will be set up just inside the box there. Snyder, who's going to end up playing soccer at Hawkeye Community College. She's actually a Wapsie Valley student, but plays for the Denver program. Sends this one right into the wall, and it rebounds back out to her. Tries to play it toward that far side, and Tyler Hull is there to scoop it up. Here she comes on the run, gets past another defender. She's into the attacking half. Plays it back toward the middle. That's Lola Paulson. Couldn't control it, though. Sent back Lola's way. And now it's coming to the near side here. Now, a quick counter there from Underwood, but the Eagles could not quite get the opportunity, and now Denver's going to have the throw down there.
Yeah, Hull's pass just got a little bit too far out in front of Paulson to really capitalize on that 4-on-2, 4-on-3 odd man chance. Throw
in, headed back in by Underwood. Cyclones are able to get it down to feet. Tyler Hull's there to contest. Sent toward the top corner and wide. Underwood a good look there, but missing wide now. They are really starting to pressure the Denver keeper, Adiana Murch, and make her life a little bit interesting down there.
Yeah, 3 shots now for Underwood. They've been 3 unanswered shots, and I'd give them 2 scoring chances as well in that span. And certainly Denver needing to kind of find a rebuttal here in the final 17 and a half.
Here come the Eagles on the counter. And the Cyclones get a good slide in there. That was Elise Ricketts. Sent back toward the sideline once more. Good spin out of there. That's Remy Paulson clearing the defender. She gets a step, crosses it toward the middle, rebounds in front, and Murch flails on it and is able to keep that scoring chance from developing further.
Murch does a nice job to follow up that big rebound she had, but I think that's going to be a lesson for Coach Nelson to his players. Hey, we've got to be sprinting toward the net because you never know what kind of bounce you're going to get in these conditions. Again, you see that short skip off the knee and then right there for an opportunity.
As you were alluding to before we started this, as some more changes are made by Denver trying to keep fresh legs out there. It's the bounce that you're maybe used to is one that comes up a little higher, slows down as it hits the pitch. But, yeah, it's going to hit the pitch, not quite go as high, but it's going to shoot out as it kind of hits that water-logged surface, and just getting used to that. And I think at this point, now that we're 25 minutes into it, and these girls – should be a little bit more used to it, but sometimes that can catch you at the wrong time.
Well, and Honan has seen some shots stay low on her already. That's really the first one for Murch that she's had to really handle it. Most shots have gone high from Underwood so far today, so she'll get a feel for it as she sees maybe another 1 or 2 of those.
This one is going to end up sticking with Denver.
In the feet of our cameraman, mind you. Some nice footwork.
An outstanding touch, might I add. Here's Shepard. She's trying to control that one to her feet and is able to play that back out to Mullahan. No, I never had to play with one of those nose plugs, but I can't imagine it's very comfortable. Here's the run into the box, and this one is deflected out. It will be a corner for the Cyclones.
And Kenzie Snyder coming up a little gimpy after that, too. She lost her footing there, but she was winding up for a big shot. I think Denver will take it as she kind of lost her footing on the attempt, but a corner no less gives them another opportunity to kind of counter back things.
It'll be the freshman Addison Shepard, who is the hero against Wahlert Catholic. She's not only scored her fair share of goals, but has distributed them as well. 14 assists on the year. This is going to be an outward bender, sort of, toward the middle. It gets past Honan, and the Cyclones play it out. I'm going to try and send it back in. Here it comes, and it's cleared out by Underwood. Tyler Hull trying to get a hand on it. A little bit of fighting. Leans Underwood's way, and they'll get a free kick to flip things back in their favor.
Underwood doing a nice job to cover up high and far away, too, because normally that's one of those spots where you get just inside the 18 that a shot's going to come pretty quick, but Underwood closes it nicely. I don't mind the opportunity from Denver either. I think they had a nice set play there.
And a good job also once it got cleared out to try and send it back in, try and recreate something and get that momentum going back their way.
Relax, Delaney. Relax, Delaney. Let him win it first.
Denver playing it back around and just playing a little give and go. Here they come. On the run this time for the Cyclones. That's Harberts playing the ball down to Gerke. Sending it back toward the middle. Not really anybody there. And the Eagles are able to get it out once again. Sent back toward the box. Underwood plays it out, and this one is Bettis. Here she comes. Navarra Bettis couldn't quite keep it under control, and Denver's got the possession once more. That is Lola Paulson, the older sister of Remy. Here she comes. Up that sideline, and Denver's got the step on Tyler Hull to deny her the ball. Cyclones with the touch, and a nice through. They find Gerke. She's got space. Steps around one, leaves it over for Shepard, who missed the left post. But it will be a corner kick again for the Denver Cyclones as they try and keep the pressure on Underwood.
And that's a great save by Avery Honan. I think she got a right paw on that one to send it wide, but what a great set play, a great feed into the box by Gerke. I almost thought she was going to have a go from this near side, but great spot for it, and Denver nearly capitalizes and makes this a 1-0 game. Instead, they level things up in shots and scoring chances.
Shepard sends it in, try to get the head on it. That one's sent up in the air. It'll get out of play, and this will be a goal kick for Underwood. So the Eagles have limited their opportunities after another Channel Seeds corner kick. And we'll see what Underwood has on the counter here as we near the 10-minute mark of this first half. We have had this one fly by after some early stoppages due to a bloody nose in there.
And right behind us, obviously the winner of this one will get the winner of Des Moines Christian and Hudson. They're scoreless still. About 10 minutes behind our game here.
Eagles get the touch toward the middle. And this one's sent back. It'll be Mullahan with the touch. Underwood sending that one back in. And again, at this point, it's either you get a quick run on it or you really don't get much of a scoring chance. There hasn't been too many possession opportunities offensively for these two squads. Kind of have to capture lightning in a bottle if you're going to capture it at all.
Yeah, and I think that's, again, halftime message from both teams, or both coaches, will be, hey, we got to make more runs. Some bad hops out there have been happening, and no one's following it. You know, keep running through it because you might get a bounce you don't expect.
Here comes the pass deep.
Kind of epitomizes state tournaments, doesn't it?
Right, it does. Yeah, it either, limit your mistakes, because the team that makes the fewest of them usually wins, or capitalize on the mistakes your opponents do make, and that'll lead you far. This is Remy Paulson, the younger sister. She's trying to create something. She's got it in deep and sails it over the crossbar once again. That's second or third time the Eagles have missed one over the top of the bar, and the Cyclones will clear it out once again.
Yeah, third one that's been a little bit high. She just leaned a little bit back. I think if she drives that one home a little bit more of the top of the foot, and she probably has a 1-0 lead for Underwood. But again, the field just flips back and forth 10 minutes or so every 10 minutes. We saw Denver's 20 minutes first half push,
right,
and now Underwood, here they come. But I think Denver now trying to get something going back their way. But Underwood's had numbers a couple times.
It is quite scary how it has almost perfectly been divided as 10-minute spurts of momentum. Denver first 10, Underwood the next 10. Denver's now had the next 10. And now I guess we're at the 10-minute mark, so that means Underwood's going to have the opportunities now. But a good step toward the defender, and the clear happening for Harbert. She gets it up to Shepard. Denver's going to try and keep the momentum going a little bit longer than 10 minutes here if they can. And this one is going to end up rolling toward the sideline. It stops, and Johnson's able to get it back into the rest of her teammates.
Macy Johnson did a wonderful job stepping in front of Addison Shepard without fouling and really cutting off any chance.
I want to remind you the Girls State Soccer Tournament is presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau, and we appreciate their partnership and support of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. There was a deflection toward the middle. Underwood wanted a handball. No call made, and Denver is coming back the other way with it. This one's played toward the middle, and Underwood flips it back down the sideline. Here comes the deflection out. Underwood can't control it. Denver gets another look and misses a bit too wide. Off of the right foot there of Kenzie Snyder. Some good chances for both sides. Still have not produced our first mark on the scoreboard.
It's been an entertaining half, though.
Yes.
I've got to say, for a 0-0 game, it certainly had some liveliness and chances, which is what you want in these moments. Both teams could be ahead by 2 or 3 at this point, but we'll take a 0-0 scoreless, entertaining game at that.
And especially out of the 1-8 matchup, too. You don't expect quite as entertaining of a contest here at this early stage of the state tournament. I'm sure Underwood's saying, hey, why not us? Someone's going to have to beat Denver at some point if they want to win a title, so why don't we just try and get it out of the way early? And Underwood's certainly trying to create the chance to put themselves in front first. But Denver's able to get that one out of play a little bit. Ooh, and a bad touch. Denver couldn't quite take it away. There's Snyder all over that play. But now this is Underwood, and it's Seelock. Trying to beat the Denver defender. That is McEwen. And McEwen gets it out toward midfield.
Strong play by McEwen to battle for that ball. She wasn't going to give it up at any point there.
Good step that time. Lizzie Thompson with the takeaway. And again, those through balls are just not there for Underwood throughout the first half of play.
She's got to find some feet. Players got to come to her a little bit more. I think that's one thing right now with the way Denver's defending. The over-the-top just hasn't really given them those run-through opportunities they've been looking for, so you got to play it more to feet.
Trying to switch sides of the field. Now they'll go back to the middle. This one's bouncing around. Somebody's tracking it down, and it is Denver. Cyclones get up the sideline. Good hustle out there from Anna Mullert. Couldn't quite keep it in play, and Underwood will go back the other way.
You mentioned the 8-1 upsets. In my time covering all the state tournaments, I think soccer lends itself probably the most to upsets because one thing can change the entire makeup of a game. And, so I think this is a great opportunity here for any underdog, so to speak, to really make an impact and change the makeup of their bracket.
And as we talked about in the pregame, Class 1A is so deep. It is, 1 through 8. Anybody can win on any given game and could beat some upper-level schools as well in 2A and 3A. Here comes Denver on the run. It is Gerke toward the middle with Shepard. Trying to create. Give and go to Gerke. This one's deflected out, and it will be another corner kick for Denver. The Eagles have gotten some good deflections on those passes, but they've had to weather a few corner kicks. And once again, this is going to be Addison Shepard to take this one for Denver. Plays it on that near side of us. And she's sending this one toward the middle. Tap toward Honan. It comes back out. The strike and the score! It's Kenzie Snyder getting the Cyclones on the board late in the first half.
An absolute missile off her right foot, and she does a great job pushing it or driving it home, keeping it low, and that's just a tough opportunity there for Underwood. They had a great read on the corner, just can't clear it away, and Snyder just cashing it in.
What a shot there, and Denver with a 1-0 lead early in this contest. Comes with 5:45 or so left in the first half. And before the ball was ready to be put in play, the Eagles got things started once again. So we'll reset it and resume action now. So Underwood's going to have to respond. First tally on the board from the Denver Cyclones. And here comes the counter for Underwood.
That goal gives Denver some freedom now to maybe push their back line up a little bit more and try and create another opportunity as we get a foul there on Hull. Set up a free kick here just inside half field mark.
Mm-hmm. And this is with how strong the Denver defenders have shown their feet to be, this is an opportunity. They could run a set here, and gosh, if you get that second goal right before the break, put yourself in a really good spot. This one's sent toward the box, and Underwood's right there under it. And they'll send it the other way. Good touch that time from Seelock. And it's up ahead to Hull. Can she get the first touch? She does, but is unable to keep it under control. Gerke sending it over to Shepard. Kind of created that opportunity with her nice corner kick. She's had a few good ones. And that last one, the only one to create a goal on the board off of the foot of Snyder. After that thing was pretty deep toward the goal line and kind of came back out, and Snyder did not miss the one-timer.
Not at all. And that was, again, just a beautiful strike. It's textbook. Drive the top of your foot. Lean into it. Don't lean back so you don't sail it.
Far post.
Oh, it was perfect. Just out of the reach.
Couldn't do it better. Shepard now has the touch under control. Trying to find Gerke. A little contact in the box. She goes far post and couldn't quite find the trailing Mullert. That goes out, and Underwood will control things with a goal kick.
Well, Denver now 5 scoring chances, 7 shots. They've come to life here since Underwood's latest push back between the 20 and 12-minute mark of this first half. And I think the big thing for Denver is a couple more shots on net. You're probably looking at a little bit more comfortable margin.
Well, sometimes you see 2. I know we're playing with short time in this first half, but sometimes you see 2. All it takes is 1. And pardon my pun here, but the floodgates open at that point, and you can see a second one squirt through quickly while Underwood's trying to regain their composure. They did not allow that second one to happen on their last look there, but Denver's keeping on the attack, and with just a few minutes to do so. Now here comes Underwood. They've got a little space. This run being created by Bettis, gives it off to Hull, and Hull plays it down toward Remy Paulson. Trying to win the foot race toward the box. She does, has control, sends it in deep. Oh, and it's cleared out of there. Murch gets up and sends it over the bar, but Underwood will set things up with a corner.
It's a beautiful shot by Remy and just fires one high, and Murch does what she needs to there. No point in trying to haul that one in, just put it up over the bar, eat up some clock here, as well as now we tick under 2:30 in this first half.
We're going to get another look at this, and the elevation there by Murch to get that ball just over the crossbar. An outstanding play. And now Underwood will set things up for the corner. Here it comes from the far side. That's Stangl sending it in deep. Nobody could get some contact with it. And that is going to end up rolling out of bounds on the far touchline. It'll be a goal kick coming for Denver. As the Eagles make another substitution, of course, our substitutions all throughout this matchup are brought to you by IMT Insurance. And you can tell the fatigue for these Underwood players. They are giving it all they've got out there and have been rewarded with a number of opportunities, but just have not quite broken through on the scoreboard. Here's Tyler Hull. She's got some space. Can she track it down? She does. Crosses it back, sends it on frame, and a sprawling save is put back in the net. And that's Navarra Bettis tying things up late in the first half.
And this all starts with Hull creating, cuts it back, gets a great shot. It was a great first save by Murch, but then Navarra Bettis comes in unmarked in the waning minutes of this half. Another look at it there, comes in, taps it home, and there's your equalizer. Underwood leveling it at 1 apiece.
What a recovery, and as you talked about, you got to get those runs on deflected balls wherever they may be. Got to put the pressure on someone to make a play. Bettis does that. She makes the play, and we are equal up heading toward halftime as the rain starts to come down once again here in Ames at Iowa State University. Now, what a match this has been so far, and we still got another 40 minutes once the halftime buzzer goes off. Around a minute, and Denver is coming back the other way. Cyclones get it toward the box, but nobody's there for it. And we'll see if Underwood's got another run at it, or if they're going to just kind of play it safe and take it into the break.
You hear that rain falling, yeah. You know, that'll just rehydrate the field a bit and make it interesting.
And the wind's picking up a little bit too. It's not the nicest weather, but certainly better than what most of the state experienced yesterday with the thunderstorms around the area. And we're down under 20 seconds in this one. Good step that time from Hull. And Denver is going to play this one back, and it looks like we will go into the halftime break. Knotted at 1. Let's get one more chance deep. That one kind of hangs up in the wind. And it is halftime. Well, Denver took the lead with about 5 minutes left, but Underwood said, not so fast. We better knot this one back up heading into the last 40. It is a Kenzie Snyder Denver goal, and it's a Navarra Bettis Underwood goal. Those are your tallies on the board. We will step aside, come back, give you some of our thoughts during the halftime break, and get you ready for half number 2. This is a Class 1A state soccer quarterfinal from Ames, Iowa. You're watching the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. And that old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Fuel choice that's cheaper, homegrown, and better for the planet? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
It's Frank. Frank. Mr. Frank. I just want you to know, I think you're the best ever.
In your neighborhood, there's a place so good. It's so nice to be at a store meant for me. The feeling of family, you have to agree.
Wow, thanks, Fairway Frank.
Welcome to Fairway, your Fairway family.
Freedom Tire is proud to support the Iowa Girl through their sponsorship of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. With 6 locations around the metro, you're never far from getting you back or keeping you on the road. Our certified staff and state-of-the-art technology means you can take comfort knowing you've got the best work at the best prices. Give us a try at Freedom Tire, a proud supporter of the IGHSAU.
Well, it is halftime in a very entertaining Class 1A state quarterfinal. Daniel Versteg, John Schaefer, really pleased to be joining you for this one, as it is Denver and Underwood knotted up at 1 goal apiece. And for the first 34 minutes of this half, we had nothing. And Denver scored, as you can see the celebration there. That was a Kenzie Snyder strike with about 5:45 to go in the first half. And then Underwood was able to counter on a nice rebound opportunity off the shot of Tyler Hull. Navarra Bettis was able to hammer it into the back of the net, and we're seeing that right here. Good recovery and powers it in. Underwood tied it up with about 1:20 left in the first half. So we've seen the goals. We've seen how they've been created, and it took a long time to get there. But now at this point, both teams have felt each other out. Both teams have finally broke through. Now I think the second half is just anybody, whoever can kind of play with the most confidence.
Yeah, I think one thing we've seen from Denver more is playing it on this near side to us. Mm-hmm. They're kind of doing that little give and go back and letting things kind of play out from there, whether that be a shot or a cross. That's where they've maybe had the most success. And then Underwood finding some space. I think they finally started playing it out a little bit wider on their through passes or their balls over the top as well, so that they're not playing it down the middle quite as much. That gave, obviously, Tyler Hull a little bit more room to work there, gets it inside the 18, able to cut back. And I think that's one thing, if you're Denver, let her stay left. She's not going to get a ton of meat on that shot because she's such a strong right-footed player. Right. So don't give her that cutback, because that's what led to the ultimate goal there by Navarra Bettis.
We obviously don't have maybe an electronic stat page that we've been keeping a look at, but you've been keeping some hand stats, and these statistics that we'll bring you, of course, are brought to you by Sukup Seats. I'm looking at them, John, and it's blatantly obvious that this is a tie game at 1 apiece. They're almost identical all the way through what we've been keeping track of.
Absolutely. 7 shots apiece, and on net, I've been trying to keep track of that as much as possible. Underwood's put more on frame than I'd say Denver has today. But nonetheless, scoring chances 5 apiece. Corners 3-1 Denver's way a little bit there, and then free kicks. Denver's had 2 free kicks to 0 for Underwood so far.
Right.
So I think that really does, as you alluded to, tell you why this game's knotted up at 1 apiece. And I think it's going to come down to maybe who has the last shot in this one, as we say.
Of course, the winner of this contest will play the winner of Des Moines Christian and Hudson. That game is late in the first half. They nearly had a goal. I believe Hudson almost had the goal about a few minutes ago, but it was not to be, and that matchup is still scoreless at the end of the first half of competition. So, again, your score here, Underwood 1, Denver 1. Question now is it going to take another 34 minutes to get our next goal, or are we going to kind of capture that momentum going into the second half? We'll be finding out as this halftime break winds down and create some more opportunities. So we will step aside and come back. We'll get the second half ready to go in just a few minutes. You are watching the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union State Soccer Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau with live coverage on the Girls Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy.
Hello, I'm Brent Johnson, President of the Iowa Farm Bureau.
And I'm Erin Gerlich, Executive Director of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. We'd like to thank you for joining us for the Girls State Soccer Tournament.
The Iowa Farm Bureau knows that strong, vibrant schools are the cornerstone of our communities. That's why we're proud to be the title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union and this amazing state tournament. This tournament not only showcases Iowa's elite teams, but the athletes competing here today are among our nation's best and brightest. And Iowa's farmers are among the nation's most productive. Our partnership with the Girls Union gives us the opportunity to recognize both, all while supporting and lifting up the Iowa girl.
With the help of the Iowa Farm Bureau, we celebrate students' efforts not only on the field, but in the classroom as well. The Iowa Farm Bureau is committed to your success and supports our organization and the Iowa Girl. Through millions of dollars they provide in awards, grants, and scholarships that recognize athletic and academic excellence.
As Iowans, we have a lot to be proud of. Whether you're a student competing here today or a fan tuning in, we all play an important role in making our state great. So, from the Iowa Farm Bureau
and the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union,
congratulations to your school on a terrific season, and good luck in the tournament games.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Excelling in athletics takes teamwork, dedication, and a commitment to excellence. These are the same qualities that help our pig farmers and our communities thrive. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics and the student athletes who make us all proud. Visit iowapork.org/WeCare to meet the people behind the pork and hear about our winning approach to caring for our pigs, the environment, and our communities.
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. That old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe it. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
Welcome back to the Girls State Soccer Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau with John Schaefer, Daniel Versteg with you. There's a look at some of our Sioux Cup stats that we alluded to at the halftime break. Of course, knotted up at 1 apiece. The corner kick opportunities lean Denver's way. Shots on goal lead Underwood's way. The Eagles have certainly been a bit more accurate with their opportunities. And obviously at some point you're going to capitalize, and they certainly did late in the first half.
Yeah, and I think, Denver's done a good job. 2 shots on net doesn't really tell the full story necessarily. They've had 7 shots total, 4 scoring chances by my count. Underwood's also blocked a handful of shots too.
Right.
So a lot of credit to both of these teams. They're playing really good soccer as we get ready for half number 2.
So we'll flip sides of the field. Denver's going to have the possession off the initial kickoff here. And it's going to be Addison Shepard who will take the kickoff for Denver to get things started. Again, the Denver goal coming from Kenzie Snyder, just under about 6 minutes to go in the first half of play. Meanwhile, Navarra Bettis got the tally on the board for Underwood. That came under a minute and a half to go in the half. So here we go. Denver will have the first possession, and really aggressive right out of the gate. Underwood gets the takeaway. Outstanding pressure put on by the Underwood forward line as Denver is able to control it back.
Well, and you talked about it in the first half, right? A few more bodies on the field for Denver. So you almost, if you're Underwood, it's press now. Then if we can get one, let's sit back a little bit more and make it really hard to break through again.
Good, outstanding pressure from that freshman Delaney Clausen. And now the pressure gets a little too much from Underwood. Denver will get the free kick off of it. And it's going to be Elena Akers. Didn't really get a chance to say her name much. Nope, she's actually going to give it off this time. It'll be Maya Rosecrans. But Akers part of that outstanding defensive line. Rosecrans and actually Miranda Thurm take this corner here for the Cyclones. Only one underclassman on that back line, and that is Mackenzie McEwen. Oh, that one comes in deep. Oh, what a recovery by Honan, and sends it out for a corner.
Yeah, there's that short hop again. The rain is basically stopped, but we had a nice little downpour there. Refreshed the drenched grass, and so that ball didn't bounce up into her stomach as much as she had anticipated. Almost gets away from her.
Addison Shepard will take this Channel Seeds corner kick, sends it toward the middle. Nobody gets a touch on it. Underwood tries to clear it out of there, and the Eagles will play it back out. This is Bettis who had the goal, had it taken away that time by Snyder. The two goal scorers going at it on the near side, and here comes Mullahan. Plays it through. Nobody had the run, and Underwood will clear it out toward the sideline.
Well, like you said earlier, this has been as entertaining of a 1-8 matchup as you might find all week long. Both teams certainly putting it all out there right now.
And as you kind of alluded to as we started this, we made the comment that probably a lot of people didn't expect Underwood to be here, and Coach Tyler Nelson was like, well, we knew we were going to be here. We knew what we had. But that's the thing, this Underwood team, I mean, they were probably pretty close to not having a varsity season with as few numbers as they had. They had a huge freshman class that stepped up to the plate and created these opportunities, and obviously that freshman class has paid off with Navarra Bettis scoring the goal for the Eagles and, keeping them in this game. It's tied up at 1 because of her.
4 freshmen in the starting 11 for this team. Obviously some senior leadership helps, especially when you got Avery Honan back there on the line to keep everything out of the net for the most part. She's been really sharp. We've talked a lot about her with her, 6.74 goals against average. She just 8 goals against all season. It's been really impressive.
And this Eagles squad would have had a bigger senior class had Holly Larson not torn her ACL right before the soccer season. That would have given them a little bit more firepower, but unfortunately after being an all-conference selection as a sophomore a couple of years ago, she has fortunately had her senior season taken away, but still obviously able to be a part of the team and make the trip up here to Ames with them to still experience the state tournament once again as a senior. This one gets cleared our way, and a nice assist there from Mr. Schaefer. Excellent touch.
Takes out our director's ankles, too. He wasn't quite ready for the short hop. Got to be on your toes over here on the sidelines between the benches.
Do we get hazard pay for that? Or
we'll have to talk to our fearless leaders on that one. My answer is going to be no.
I'm going to go ahead and say no as well. I think
play it at your own risk.
I think we knew what we signed up for when we took this job here today. Denver, they got the attack toward the middle. Oh, that squirted through a lot of bodies, but could not quite find the foot of a Denver attacker, and Underwood will get a chance to clear it out.
Again, another chance there where Denver, you need those players running to that back post. Don't expect it to get stopped at this point, just with how that ball's playing off of the foot.
Denver keeps the pressure up, and Underwood is able to get it back out. This is the Paulsons playing it to each other, and it's Remy.
That one stung Remy pretty good. Wearing that knee brace on her left knee and playing through some stuff, but she's been a warrior out there.
Yeah, you can tell she's really in pain. The fatigue, she's adjusting the knee brace, and She is fighting through a lot to stay on the pitch for Underwood and still be an asset to this Eagle squad. Denver trying to counter. Here comes the pass from Harberts. It got deflected out of bounds, and this will result in a corner kick for the Cyclones.
Be the second corner kick of the half already for Denver. They had second corner of the half. Yep, they had 3 in the first half, up to 5 now.
Of course, one of their goals came off of a corner. And now Addison Shepard will play this Channel Seeds corner kick toward the middle. Ooh, there's a lot of Cyclones up top, and I think we got some interference down against the goalkeeper.
Yeah, they're going to say a push in there and didn't really give chance for a play on it, and so that'll be a quick whistle and the first free kick of the day for Underwood. Feels more like a goal kick at that point.
Denver head coach Derek Krebsbach was just trying to confirm exactly what his team did to warrant the whistle, and he got an explanation from our assistant referee that is here. That's the nice thing about the girls' state tournament is not only do you have the referee and the alternate referees, the lines judges, if you will, you also have the assistant referee that stands as kind of a liaison from the coaches. Unfortunately, that means they get a little bit of a ribbing throughout the contest, but they're known to take it. Here comes Denver. Oh, a strike gets deflected, and a good step that time. It was Mallory Leaders getting the touch on it.
Yeah, it's a great backline play, and really what you need to do, taking away space at the top of the box. You certainly don't want Kira getting in there and letting one rip. She's got a rifle with that right foot.
Mullahan spins around Lola Paulson. And this one's going to be sent back our way and out of play. This will be a Denver throw, so the Underwood substitution cannot check in yet. And it's going to be Elena Akers up the sideline. And now it will be an Underwood throw. And the Eagles can make that IMT insurance substitution. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com.
First touch needs to be a little bit cleaner there from Denver if they're going to play that ball down into the corner the way they want to. Maybe play that with the left leg instead of the right and keep it in play.
Reagan Seelock checks into the contest for Underwood, and Denver plays this throw out of bounds. And it'll be Kendall Cook sending it deep for Underwood, and once again it is played out by Akers. So they just start chipping their way downfield, and Underwood gives themselves some opportunities this way.
Wind picking up a bit here now, too. It was pretty docile in the early first half action. Now it's definitely livened up a little bit along with our action here on the pitch.
Tyler Hull gets by the second. Not totally. And Denver's able to recover nicely.
That's one of those plays Tyler Nelson was massaging the officials for earlier, looking for a call possibly.
Well, this one's sent deep. It is going to hang up. Oh, and it's punched over the crossbar. Boy, Lola Paulson, an incredibly competitive shot, and Underwood will get a corner kick off of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's a play. Merch just kind of, she's got to get that fist up. That's harder play than it looks like. You're trying to read the angle, and she does a nice job just saying, I'm not going to do anything more with it. Let's just take a corner.
Here comes the corner. It's drifting in. It gets through. Still in the box, and Denver does get the clear.
It's a great clear. Underwood almost had a look at it. Now time for Underwood to regroup, and they'll play it back even further and let Honan kind of dictate where it's going to go.
I think Paulson's shot, if it's not attacking the wind, it does end up clearing the crossbar, which is probably why Merch hesitated initially on her deflection. But now here come the Cyclones. They're on the run, maybe with a little wind advantage. This is Gerke outside the box, taken down, and it'll be a corner kick. No foul on that play, but the Cyclones do still get the opportunity in the corner.
It's a nice defensive play, and I didn't have a great look at it. It looked like obviously the official felt it was all ball on that one, and thus the corner. Really nice run. Gerke's been a threat out there on the left side.
What do you think we're hunting in that corner?
Goals.
Goals, there you go.
Depends on who you're rooting for, but
right.
I always love seeing the various ways fans decide to either bundle up. The clear one is the one I see out at my kids' soccer games all the time. And
I've seen that a lot more now. Yeah, I got to get me one of those.
Breaks the wind nicely.
Right. Keeps you dry.
Though I've got to give a tip of the cap to the staff for us that have just made sure we have a tarp overhead and keeping us dry as well.
Yeah, we are enjoying this match nice and dry, and we're going to get a foul here against Underwood. Denver's going to get an opportunity here.
Denver's really drawn all the free kicks today. 4 of the 5 whistle for free kicks have gone Denver's way. So you hope that some of those might level out at some point maybe.
Underwood sets up a wall, and our official will make sure it is perfectly placed.
Just a little 3-person wall, sorry.
See, this one sent in from Kira Gerke. Got that captain armband, and here it comes. It's a lob up. Oh, it gets deflected wide. And this time Cook clears it out. Denver's able to still keep the possession. They're going to reset it a bit. As McEwen sends it to the box. Bad first touch. Played toward Mullahan. Settles it to Gerke. Here it comes back toward the box, and Underwood gets the clear. That time it was Macy Johnson.
Denver really finding their offensive pressure right now and kind of has Underwood on their heels with a couple bad clearing attempts. They need to clean those up.
The Eagles are going to track that one down, and good touch that time, and a kick out from Akers. She does get the throw in too. It hit off an Eagle last time.
Moving it really quick here. Denver, I love their pace.
Yes. They've got that second wind here in the second half. It's Shepard. Can she be the hero again? Just misses far post. This will go for a goal kick.
I really like the try there from Shepard, though. She knows she's not on her strongest foot, but why not let one fire off with the left and just see if you can sneak it in the far post? Denver really putting Underwood on their heels again, as I mentioned. I like to see how they've kind of collapsed around the middle of the field.
Denver keeps the pressure up, as you mentioned, and now Underwood is trying to counteract it. Yeah, that's a good clearance out of there from Remy Paulson. Trying to give the Eagles a little bit of breathing room here, and now a good step this time. Taken down. This is going to be a foul, and Underwood will get the advantage.
That's going to go against Gerke, a little bit of a dangerous tackle. I think she got ball, but still she went through a player to get it, and then Underwood tries to play it fast, and wisely, someone steps in there for Denver. It looked like it was Shepard, kind of making a veteran play to not allow it.
As a freshman, that's a very veteran play. Slow down the tempo, let your defense get set. And Denver is able to set up and get this one toward us and set out. And now here comes Shepard. Can she beat the Underwood defense? She can. She's got a break toward the box. What a recovery step. And it's Macy Johnson, the senior, clearing it out for Underwood.
Johnson's led the way on that back line all game long. We've seen it on a couple of runs by Gerke in the first half. Then there, great step in, takes it away, and then creates possession for Underwood.
Snyder, she had a misplay there. This is Bettis. Couldn't get through, and Denver stays alive. They send it back deep, and now Shepard's got a run on it. Johnson has to play it back to Honan, and Thompson will settle it in.
Things have opened up a bit here with about 25 to play.
Seeing what Denver can create. That's played toward the middle, but this one's mishandled out of play, and it will go for another Denver corner kick. It's brought to you by Channel Seeds.
Channel Seeds getting every bit of penny that they put into this one with their 4th corner of this half for Denver, 7th of the game. And let's see what they can dial up again. I have a feeling it'll be a bender into that back post one more time from Gerke.
Now the Farmers near the Denver area need to get an assist from Channel Seeds for all the corners their girls have created. Gerke plays it toward the net, and it goes in. And that time it is Elena Akers finding the back of the net. Denver takes a 2-1 lead here in the second half.
Well, Underwood might have been thinking what I was. Instead, Gerke goes near post, and what a great run to that near post to really capitalize and make this a 2-1 game by Elena Akers.
So Akers gets Denver the lead, and a great corner set in by Kira Gerke. as Underwood will have to counter once again, down a goal. They did it with short time in the first half, so it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility here. Akers with her 6th goal of the year. As a defenseman, that's a pretty good run with, not a whole lot of opportunities maybe throughout the season to get a run that aggressive on goal. But she gets one and knows what to do with it. And it's Underwood now trying to find that equalizer once again, playing from behind as they've done just a few minutes in this matchup. This is going to be a bit too aggressive from the Denver defense. Underwood will get another chance in their attacking half.
Can't run through a body on that play there if you're Denver, and that's going to set things up. And this is what you don't need if you're Denver. You need to play some smart soccer right now. You need to make sure that you're obviously closing gaps, but you can't give away some free possessions and free kicks for this Underwood team that is lethal and dangerous. We saw it in the first half.
Here comes the ball, and it is kind of in the midst of a bunch of defenders there near the box, and Denver will get this one sent the other way. That is Milder playing it out. Mullahan with the step. A good recovery there by Lola Paulson. Up to Hull. Can't settle it to her feet. Plays it over to Bettis. That's a deep strike, and that's bending outwards. It will be a goal kick for Denver's Adiana Murch.
Yeah, that one a little bit probably too far out of distance. I'd like to see Bettis take another touch into the box or towards that box. See if you can draw a defender towards you and maybe make a step around.
Toward the middle. Denver's got control of Shepard. What a recovery, though, by Johnson. And Underwood is keeping the pressure on. Cyclones send it back deep, and Underwood will track it down. It is to the middle. Denver gets the clear back. A good step. This Underwood defensive line playing pretty good once again, but here comes Denver on the counter. That's up the sideline. That's Colesrud trying to turn it back to the middle, and it's Johnson once again with a great read on the run. She's doing everything back there for Underwood.
And she's been leaned on, and she'll be leaned on the final 23, because now if you're Underwood, you got to start pushing a few more bodies up the field. I think it's going to open things up, and if you're Denver, don't get on your heels. Start playing a ball over the top or two and see if you can get a runner.
That'll be Bailey Mullahan on the throw. Had a couple of assists against North Fayette Valley in their regional semi. But Underwood's got the takeaway off the throw-in, and they'll try and set up a counter run. It's Bettis. Sent to the ground, and another foul called against Denver. Well, those calls have certainly been going Underwood's way as of late, with Denver trying to get a little too physical.
Well, I mentioned it earlier. You probably see those leveling out, and here we are, 4-4 now for free kicks.
Underwood plays it short on the free kick. And now they'll try and send it deep, but a good clearance there off the right foot of Thurm. It's a lefty pass that time from Thompson. It is tapped close by Hull. Just trying to get some space. She has been smothered this entire match. Denver gets the takeaway. And Milder plays it up the sideline. Once again, the Underwood defense makes a nice play. Leaders trying to pass it into traffic, and that was not the pass that Underwood wanted to keep possession. This will go off Denver. Underwood has the throw-in. Eagles trailing by a goal. We're now at the midway point of this second half. So that clock will start feeling a little bit more pressure against Underwood as this match continues. Bettis tried to get the takeaway there from Snyder, couldn't do it. And it's Colesrud up the sideline, kept alive by Underwood. They sent it back deep, but that Denver back line is not going to make a mistake on a ball like that. Now here come the Cyclones with a great recovery from Johnson once more. Kept up by Stangl. And it's Underwood back toward the middle for Bettis. Couldn't keep control down there. And the Cyclones clear it back.
kind of seeing Denver fall back into what I figured Underwood would do had they gotten a lead, where they're good with just collapsing back 9 players, leaving one forward really up, and not giving Underwood any space to operate across the field.
A couple substitutions brought to you by IMT Insurance, and I got to imagine it's starting to frustrate Underwood a bit because you do all that work. You get it into your attacking half. You get a ball that looks pretty competitive to create an opportunity, and then Denver just turns it away with one pass out, and all that hard work goes out the window on that run. But you got to find a way to try and keep the energy, keep the pressure up. Honen's way out there to play this one. She's got some space, as you mentioned, with Denver playing so far back. She can step up a little bit. Doesn't want to be caught too far out there, but has a little bit of freedom that way. And now Underwood gets another clear up a bit. Lola Paulson sends it wide and way over the top of her target. This is going to create an awkward play up that sideline. What a job by leaders to keep that in play and on the foot of an Eagle. It's Remy Paulson. Hobbled a bit, keeps the possession, still at her feet, leaves it off for Lola, takes the strike, and what a deflection from Mullert. Excuse me, that was Ricketts on the deflection. What a job either way. And Denver tries to counter.
It's a heck of a shot block there, and Milder just kind of shaking that one off, stretching things out a little bit after it because those sting.
Yeah.
Especially on a day like today.
Sacrifice the body. It's what you got to do at the state tournament. And an excellent job by that Denver back line. And now this one's played deep. Honen, I'm going to flag it down. You can certainly tell there is a wind advantage now, and it is hurting Underwood, helping Denver. Denver's kicks always seem to have a little bit more on it, while Underwood's come up a bit short, and I think is hurting their runs anyway. Taken down outside the box, and this is going to be a card.
It's a very dangerous tackle.
It's Elena Akers assessed the yellow card at 19-10, and Akers is going to have to come off the pitch.
It's a senior defender that's a toughing. It's a tough one there, and I think that tackle probably warranted it. It was a strong tackle, but chopping the legs out as you see the run there, and that's going to force a substitution, but Denver's got the bodies. The only problem is you lose a senior leader like Elena Akers on that back line, and that does make it a little bit harder.
Underwood's going to have kind of a pseudo corner kick here, if you will. Not quite at the angle of a corner, but as wide as you would expect it. And this is going to be Stangl to take the free kick outside the box. Following the yellow card, here it comes. And we're going to have this whistled dead again.
I believe offsides was the call. My guess is offsides, just based on how quick the whistle was.
She's throwing her arm into the defender.
There was a little bit of a push into a defender. That was the call to blow it dead. And now Underwood's going to get a free kick the other way. So all of a sudden, this game has gotten called a little bit tighter, and these teams are having to adjust in the final 20.
And I get it. You want to keep the riffraff out of it a bit, but at the same time, it's a state game. Maybe let a little bit of contact go as long as it's not a terrible type of displacement.
And I think maybe, sometimes an official will say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna assess a yellow card here, try and calm the tension a little bit and see if that will help. And unfortunately for Akers, it was, I think, a yellow card worthy play, but she is the recipient of that infraction. And now here comes Milder. What a cross. Anybody on that back post? No, this will go toward the end line, and it does go out. A good effort from Aubrey Juergens to try and keep it in play, but it will be Underwood sending it back.
We're under 20 minutes to play now. Coach Nelson saying we've got to connect White. And I think the bigger thing, too, is you got to start pushing your back line up a little bit more and maybe running a bit of a trap with that last forward back. Take some risk here. It's one and done in the sense of there is no tomorrow if you lose here. So,
yeah, at this point, you got to throw everything to the wall and see what will stick.
probably see more of that under the 10-minute mark would be my guess.
Yeah, I was thinking it might be a little early for that, but, of course, as the 8th seed, you also probably have the thought of, hey, we don't really have much to lose. This team that we're playing hasn't lost, and now Denver's got a little bit of a run again. And with Snyder trying to connect on her second goal, but couldn't do it with a good step from the Underwood back line.
Macy Johnson in there once again doing what she's done best all game long. But, yeah, I think, at the end of the day, 3-1, 4-1, still the same as 2-1.
Right. A loss is a loss. And a win is a win on the other side as well. You just got to move on, find a way.
Well, and Denver's done a good job responding after that goal from Underwood. They kind of battened down the hatches really in the second half. Underwood has had three shots, but none have really been on net. And so I think that's a big credit to the way Denver's defended.
You could say they're, playing a little passively, but I wouldn't. I mean, they're playing a little bit more defensive, sure, but as we've seen, they get an opportunity. They're still wanting to say, hey, let's keep building the cushion a little bit. Let's build our lead, and that's just goes to show how dominant of a team they are as well. As Underwood is able to get that one toward the midfield stripe, but it's sent right back by Denver. This one will sail too far, and it'll reset out to Honan. Avery Honan's a 2-time all-conference goalkeeper for Underwood, and she will no doubt earn a third all-conference nod once the all-conference teams are released from the Western Iowa Conference once the season is over. Denver plays this one toward the sideline. Quick takedown, and the Cyclones settle it back. Trying to add to their lead. This is a push in the box. We're going to get a PK. Addison Shepard taken down in the box.
It's just on the outskirts.
Oh, it is on the outside.
It's in the hoop. So they're going to set it just outside the 18, which, I mean, at this point, you've got a 10-yard wall. I'd put 6 on this wall.
Yeah,
and cover half the net if you can and make sure they're jumping as high as possible.
It's a straight shot, yeah, so you don't have the angle to help you out here. Kira Kirky's going to take it. That ball is right on the line of the 18 box. Honan's going to play that far post, if you will. And Gerke plays it into the box, sent toward the far post, and it's in the back of the net for Denver.
Didn't get a good look on the number, but what a beautiful set play. That's a great goal. It looks like Kenzie Snyder again striking based on where all the hugs are, but what a great indirect set that Denver has there. Gerke just the soft touch feed. A little distraction there.
And it is Snyder. What a shot toward the far post. Denver gets their second goal from Kenzie Snyder. And the senior has given Denver a 3-goal advantage.
14:35 left now in this game.
And now the real pressure's on for Underwood.
And I think, yeah, you have to move. It looks like they've dropped their line to a 3-person line. Or back line, I should say. And they're moving some attackers up the field.
Here comes Denver on the counter and trying to keep the pressure on. This is up the sideline, and it's going to curl in. Cyclones play it back to the middle. They're going to get another good look on this one. Play toward the far post. An open opportunity cleared out. Gerke sails the crossbar. And Denver nearly added to their lead late in this contest.
Yeah, and this is what can happen, obviously, as you move defenders up. You get more opportunities created, but it's, as we talked about, at the end of the day, a loss is a loss. It doesn't matter how bad it looks. You got to tip your cap to Underwood and the way they've played today. Really, the dam broke open here late. Denver's kind of inflicted their will.
Here they come again. A lot of contact down there, but this one's cleared out by Underwood, and the Cyclones will get another throw. And this is the last thing Underwood needs, is this ball on this third of the field where Denver can just pepper the keeper and continue to keep the pressure on in that regard. Sent out nicely by Underwood, but the Eagles don't have anybody downfield. Having to keep Denver off the board for a fourth time in this match. Gerke sends it to the middle, right into an Underwood player's chest. She's hobbled up, and this one goes wide of the far post. That's Macy Johnson, who took one for the team. And our referee is going to check on her.
Caught her right in the stomach, right where you'll knock the wind out of you, and it'll stun you. She's been a trooper out there all night and been a big part of it. And game behind us is also upwind up big. Hudson now up 3-0. So if that score holds and this one holds in our final 12 minutes, it'll be a Denver versus Hudson semifinal come Thursday morning.
And it will be their third meeting of the year. Two North Iowa Cedar League rivals. First game of the year, Denver beat Hudson 3-0. And then at Hudson, the Cyclones got a 2-0 win over the Pirates. So Thursday will be appointment television in a Class 1A state semifinal. Denver keeping the pressure on, and the Cyclones settle it toward the sideline. Here comes Mullahan on the run. Leaves it off for Shepard. She takes a shot at it and has too much on it. The Underwood with a goal kick.
6 shots now in this half for Denver. They've capitalized on a couple of them, obviously, and both that have been on net have found the back of the net. So this is a Denver team that's obviously senior laden as well. I think all but 4 players in their starting 11 are seniors out of that group. So only 4 are non-seniors, I should say.
Right.
So it's a team that's going to have to replace some big names.
Yeah, they were a terror last year in Class 1A. Just came up a little bit short to Nevada in the state title match, and certainly they were driven to right the wrong this year, hence by their outstanding regular season with no losses. Gerke's up along the side of the box. Can't quite find the middle. And Underwood will get the clearance a bit. It's kept in there by Snyder. Seeing if she can maybe find a hat trick here at the state tournament. Gerke keeps that alive there. Sends that toward the middle. Here comes Underwood trying to clear it out.
Still 10 minutes left in this one. If Underwood can get a quick strike here, granted they haven't had the ball in their half of the field, and that's going to be a foul on
this
Paulson.
This is going to stop it as well. This will be a yellow against Remy Paulson. Yeah, that's, I think, just a little bit of frustration eking out for Underwood with 10 minutes to play.
And she knew it right away. She went over and apologized for it, and so that'll force another substitution here. And I think that might be another factor in this, is that Denver's just had the bodies.
Right.
They've been able to substitute a little bit more frequently. And not saying that Underwood hasn't had some subs, but when you only have 3 on your bench, it makes it really challenging to keep legs fresh for a full 80 minutes.
Yeah, especially with the intensity that this game has been played with. Get away with that a lot maybe during the regular season, but here at the state tournament, it is tricky. Try and keep that intensity up, as you said, for a full 80 minutes.
Well, I hope what comes out of this for Underwood is you get some underclassmen, some 8th graders maybe that have soccer on their mind, and they're saying, look, I want to be part of this team, and you can get numbers back up a little bit for a program that's been so good the last couple of years.
Yeah, 3 state tournament appearances the last 4 years. I can't think of anything better to excite a community and to maybe grow the sport of soccer a little bit more. And with the limited resources they have as one of the smaller schools to offer soccer in the state of Iowa, 7th smallest by enrollment size to offer the sport of soccer in Iowa.
And they'll have to find some replacements for Lola Paulson and Tyler Hull, who are both graduating or have gone through graduation ceremony. Not sure if Underwood's in that book yet.
Every school is different. Even in our corner of the state, I know of some schools that graduated 3 weeks ago and some that are graduating this weekend.
Yeah.
It definitely varies statewide. So, yeah, at this point, who knows where we're at in the school calendar, if there's still a school calendar going on for some of these districts.
I was having that chat with my 6-year-old explaining she's been out for 2 weeks now, and Des Moines schools don't end until the 4th, and so, it just varies. You got to got to keep an eye on all those. But still, certainly their school year, this is a tight-knit group for Underwood and Denver. And Denver, if they can close out the final 750 here, will keep this camaraderie going a bit.
Yeah, chance to do it against a conference rival, as we talked about earlier as well. Hudson up big on Des Moines Christian in their matchup.
Another run here for Denver, and another one will find the back of the net. What a beauty it was on the nice little give-and-go through ball.
It's Addison Shepard again. She has been the hero more times than not. A golden goal against Wahlert Catholic in the region final, and the freshman Shepard buries one. And if the last one didn't put the nail in the coffin, this one surely will, as Denver goes up 3 under the 10-minute mark.
Underwood just ran out of gas today, and I mean, credit to them for how they came out and played the first, I'd say, 55 minutes of this game. Really had everything kind of working against Denver in some ways, and just couldn't find a breakthrough. You know, they haven't had a shot on net in the second half. You mentioned it too, the wind kind of picked up here, and Denver had the wind at their back. Keep in mind, Denver won the coin toss to start this game, chose to defend that half of the field in the beginning because I think they knew the wind would play a key role in the second half.
Denver's keeping the pressure up, and it's Shepard again. Can she add to her match? Not quite. Couldn't quite get the good touch on it. And now Denver will look to counter it back in once again. This one's played toward the far post, and no one's able to control it that time for Underwood or Denver. So it will be a goal kick for Avery Honan. Now under 7 to play in this matchup following the Addison Shepard goal. Settled down this time by Kenzie Snyder, and Gerke goes to chase it down. She's taken down, but it was clean. A good tackle there for Underwood. And this one goes out. The Eagles couldn't quite have enough room up that sideline. Denver will take it back.
Let's chat really quick about this setup, too, one more time. I know we mentioned in the pregame, obviously, moving from County up here to lead recreation complex on the campus of Iowa State, but really think it's a great setup for fans. You have bleachers on both fields. You've got space if you still want to set up your chairs and your umbrellas and things. I really like how they've done it. The union has set this up.
It's, change is sometimes difficult, but, hey, it's good sometimes, and I think this was certainly a welcome move. And Iowa State University, such a good host as their first state championship event. This one's put in. Gerke chased the far post and found the back of the net. It is all Cyclones as they tear their way to a semifinal berth.
Gerke with a great run, and we kind of talked about it all game, just team players needing to keep running to the ball because you never know what might eke through. And Shepard, I think, wasn't even looking for Gerke necessarily, but instead it just finds its way past a couple defenders. I think she was looking for Harberts in the box, but Gerke runs to that far post and is able to just put it to the twine.
Outstanding created goal by Kira Gerke. That is her 12th of the year. It's 5-1 Denver. And Underwood now just trying to see if they can tack on one more for good measure. The run for Tyler Hull. She's in the box. Point blank and puts it in. Underwood's not done yet as Tyler Hull creates one late to cut the deficit.
Just 22 seconds after Gerke made it 5-1, Hull trying to put a cap on her senior season with her first goal at the state tournament this year. Makes it 5-2. Not a lot Murch, the freshman netminder for Denver, could do.
Yeah, when you give Hull that close of a shot, it's just when is it going to go in at that point? So we got to reset the clock here, I think.
We're at 5:18 on ours.
5:25.
So even less than 20 seconds after the last goal. We're talking 17 seconds between goals there. It was a great play by Hull, and props to her for continuing to play through this one. Obviously, it can be easy, especially as a senior, to say, you know what, it's 5-1, let's pack it in.
Yep. Great season, you know.
Yeah, we made it to state again, tap ourselves on the back, but she's like, you know what, let's go make it interesting for 5 more minutes.
Hey, you know what? If you're going to start a comeback, it had to start that quickly. So a good way to get it done. And now Underwood's going to need another few of those if they want their match to continue any further. But Denver's going to try and keep the pressure up and see if that can be their ticket eventually punching to the semifinal round. It's Shepherd.
Wind picking up in our background as well as I think things will shift based off of what I've seen for forecasts the rest of the day. We'll get a cold front moving through and keep some rain around, but again, as we've talked about, keep the lightning, thunder away, knock on wood.
Yeah.
We're set for the day.
These girls are tough. They can play in rain. They can play in wind. They've been doing it all spring.
I'm sure it snowed somewhere in the state at a game at one point or another this year.
I believe I might have been at a couple that in which it snowed. Yeah, that is a regular occurrence in early April in the state of Iowa. And, it's unfortunately you can have the toughest player on the field. They are no match for Lightning. So, we got to keep that away if we want to make sure we can get through the busy first day of the state tournament, which is all the quarterfinals. 1A will have another batch coming up here right around noon, assuming, we're going to be a little bit behind schedule for today, but that's all right. We'll follow that up with the 2A matches. We'll get 2 batches of those, and then the 3As will wrap up the day, and we'll go in that same order for semifinals on Thursday.
Scooped up there nicely by Honan. There's that pesky rain again.
The rain's coming back down. As you kind of mentioned, it was going to be quick spurts all throughout the day to kind of keep watering this grass a little bit more and making the playing surface a little less than ideal for some.
Shout out the grounds crew here, too. Doing a great job keeping things up in line. And
this pitch is in outstanding condition for all the rain it took yesterday. It didn't get bogged down or anything.
I'm just going to say it. I'm glad we don't have to deal with the wildfire smoke overhead today.
Right, that's true. Yeah,
the haze that created.
The last few days have not been fun. I can't imagine trying to play in that. Try and get good, clean breaths of air as Hull has that one taken away. A good step to it from Mullahan. This will be a corner kick, though, and Underwood will create an opportunity. Brought to you by Channel Seeds. Check out channel.com for more information. It's going to be Paulson sending it in. That's a lobber. Couldn't get the header on it. As Underwood clears it back, and this will be reset by Kendall Cook. She's going to send it in deep once again. And Adiana Murch is under it.
Hudson just made it 5-0 over behind us, and I think that tells you everything you need to know about that North Iowa Cedar League and just how good the soccer is over there.
Yeah, they finished the year with 3 teams in the top 10 in 1A. Dyke New Hartford did not make it here to state, but they did finish the year as the number 10 ranked team in Class 1A. And that conference will represent 2 of the Final 4 in this bracket.
Of course, back half of the bracket, Bishop Heelan and CPU will duke it out again. 11:45 was the projected.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be closer to probably 12:05 on that front.
I would agree.
And then Davenport Assumption, Nevada, the defending champs in Class 1A. I'm sure Denver was thrilled to see them on the other side of the bracket so they can say, hey, we want to take them down when it matters most.
Avoid them just a little bit longer, so that you can really properly get your revenge. And, of course, is anybody surprised that Bishop Heelan and Davenport Assumption are here at the state tournament?
Well, and also I shouldn't get too far ahead of myself. Denver's got to get through a Hudson team, and beating any team 3 times in one season, hard enough, and that's assuming Nevada can take care of Assumption, who's a very good 12-4-1 team. There's a
what
strike.
A shot. Lola Paulson buries it with a minute to go, and Underwood will do a little window dressing on this match, trying to keep it interesting late. It's Lola Paulson with a great turn and strike to keep Underwood within a couple of goals. Top bar down for Lola Paulson.
Two Two seniors for Underwood getting their last 2 goals. That one was absolutely struck to perfection.
And if you can't win your last match as a senior, well, you might as well score in it. And certainly Lola Paulson, Tyler Hall getting that done late. And now we're under the final minute as Denver looks to finish the job. And they will play Thursday afternoon. It's not very often you get a third matchup in a season in the sport of soccer, but that is the opportunity presented to Denver and Hudson as the Pirates and Cyclones will square off once more. Denver tries to lock it up there, and that's going to get the job done.
I am excited to see how Bishop Heelan plays. You know, obviously CPU, just 1 loss this season, 2 ties. But Bishop Heelan, we know, likes to play up a little bit as well. They play all those teams in Class 2A and 3A that survive out west.
This time it is the Denver Cyclones, the runner-up, trying to get revenge and win a state title. They've gotten step number 1 taken care of as they take down Underwood with 4 straight goals in the second half. They beat the Eagles by a final tally of 5-3. 20 wins on the year for an outstanding Denver Cyclones squad. Underwood sees the season end at 12-3-2. But, again, as we talk about it, we don't want to beat a dead horse, but this Underwood team was certainly not in the mix at a good chunk of the year. They were not ranked. They had to go on the road, all 3 regional matchups, and they still survived it to get to Ames.
And they gave quite the effort out there, too. We go 1-1 at half. Again, it takes 15 minutes in the second half before it breaks to 2-1, and nothing to hang your heads about if you're Underwood. Certainly a team that left it all out there on the field and can walk off the field very proud of what they've done. And Denver can walk off the field getting ready for those HUD Pirates that are so pesky.
Underwood's 3 goals came from 3 different players. It was Navarra Bettis, Tyler Hull, and Lola Paulson. Kenzie Snyder scored twice for Denver. Elena Akers, Addison Shepard, and Kira Gerke with goals as well for the Denver Cyclones. As Underwood gets presented their team participation trophy at the state tournament, it is the 3rd time they've been presented one of those state tournament trophies in soccer, and certainly will be a nice fixture in the trophy case at Underwood High School.
You got to be able to see, though.
Well, there it is, Denver with their 20th win, a 5-3 mark over the Underwood Eagles, advances to the Class 1A state semifinal, which in all likelihood, barring a major comeback from Des Moines Christian, will advance them into a rematch, 3rd time against the Hudson Pirates. What an entertaining match. This is the first of 6 matches we're going to have on this pitch, John, and it certainly got us off to a good start.
Love the layout of it, love everything about it, and starting us off like that, boy, do they have a tough act to follow, does Bishop Heelan and CPU. I know you've got the call for that one. You've got to be excited getting back into your neck of the woods a bit.
Absolutely.
But certainly, you look ahead now. I love that they break it up and they stagger the days. You go every other day for these games so that players can rest, refresh, and then come back out without too much time off.
It's going to be a great matchup, as you mentioned. Bishop Heelan, an outstanding perennial favorite down here. Center Point Urbana trying to knock them off after missing the state tournament the last couple of years. That will be our next matchup. We'll look forward to bringing you that here in the not-too-distant future. Until then, we'll say so long for now. For the rest of our crew here at the Girls Union Digital Network, for John Schaefer, I'm Daniel Versteg. You've been watching the Girls State Soccer Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.